Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm Pabs, a Rising VTuber who's currently invisible. I'll fix that in just a moment. Give me... hang on. Hey, there we go. Now that's more in the holiday spirit. Now, this is pretty much a continuation of what we were doing yesterday, so if you were here approximately... what, maybe 12 hours ago? No, actually it'd be exactly 24 hours ago, wouldn't it be? Because 12 hours ago would be 6:30 in the morning. So yeah, if you were here around 24 hours ago, you more or less understand the drill. We are currently making a Christmas card themed illustration for the channel. There's a couple of things that I did want to do real quick. First of which is I wanted to do more of the background. And this is gonna be this is gonna be a little bit difficult because I already took a big chunk out of the circle here. But I want to do a little bit more of this background just because it will be helpful if we want to make a kind of foreshortened, or you know how like when you take pictures, right? You take pictures and the stuff closer to the foreground is clear, but the stuff closer to the background is blurry. That's an effect that I like to add to a lot of different illustrations, particularly those that have a background. And so, to achieve that, we will be grafting an additional couple of lines here, and I suppose to the bed as well. And the other thing that I need to do is I need to add Rice Beast somewhere, because it's not a holiday without the beast. There we go. That being said, another thing we could do is start to add more folds to this part here. Because this curtain style, I think I based it off of the curtains inside one of those capsule hotels. So actually, let me see if I can pull up a picture. Because they're a really interesting design. Hang on. Either the capsule hotel or something else. Hang on, capsule hotel window. Not these ones. Oh, here we go. It's kind of easy to see how the window works. I originally didn't know what to make of it when I first saw it. But as it turns out, it's kind of like a paper fan. You would move the window around to, you know, you would kind of like clasp it close when you didn't want shade, but you could just leave it open like this if having shade was a vibe. I want to know desperately what's going on over here. Like, all of this looks so cool. Why do they have a tape recorder in the room? Where is this? A capsule from Tokyo's Nakagin Towers landing at SF MoMA. Tell me more. Hang on. SF MoMA acquires the capsule A1302 from the iconic Nakagin Tower. On May 18th, 2023, the San Francisco Museum of Art became the first museum to acquire a capsule from the iconic Nakagin Capsule Tower built in Ginza, Tokyo in 1972. One of Kisho Kurokawa's earliest projects, the landmark spanned 13 floors and featured two central towers, with 140 small, prefabricated living units, capsules, attached to them. A unique design emblematic of Japan's post-war metabolism movement. Sadly, on October 5th, 2022, the city tore down the central tower and most of the capsules. 23 units were successfully saved through the extraordinary efforts of the Nakagin Capsule Tower Preservation and Restoration Project, led by Tatsuyuki Maeda. Huh. 1302 was included as part of its Japanese architecture, design, and photography collections. Originally owned by Kurokawa himself, this living unit boasted a prime location on the tower's highest floor and was featured in several movies. Huh. Yeah, and you can look at the capsule from here. Let's see. The idea was that individual living units could be replaced or even moved to different locations. Initially built into real estate documents as business capsules for private workspaces during the week, the prefabricated units featured a single circular window, a full bathroom, a built-in bed, and a fold-down desk. Oh, that's probably where I also got the idea for the computer console a little bit too. The owner would also select optional interior features and accessories from a menu of options, which included the latest Japanese electronics of the day, such as a television and a reel-to-reel tape player. That explains why why the one that I looked at had. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, this definitely feels like similar to the vibe that I'm going for with a desk console. Now, I'm not saying anybody should have to live like this. I'm saying it would be nice to have an affordable version of this. Although I have a lot of stuff myself, I'm not really inclined to minimalist living, so I do actually need more space than this would provide. But you know, as like an Airbnb thing or as a novelty to stay at, I think it would be quite interesting. It'd be like living in a little gnome house. And yeah, I'm just gonna add a little bit of snow here. We'll add the rest once the colors come in. We can handle that during the background phase. That being said, the cool thing about the bed in particular is that we can just kind of grab this and then just stretch it over here and add this, and nobody will be any of the wiser. That being said, we will need... Hang on. There we go. That's just to give the impression that there's something there. Or maybe I should elaborate on that a little bit. I noticed there wasn't a seam line here for the cushions. Actually, they look a little bit too beat up right now. Let me straighten that out just a tiny bit. They're supposed to look homey, not like threadbare. I will say, it is nice to wear clothes that are basically... I don't know how to put it. Like, wearing clothes that you've owned for a long time feels a lot like you're in very fine, very soft linens. It's good to replace your clothing when it gets old, but there is something to be said for the comfort of a clothing item you've owned for years and years. It's a little bit of a strange feeling. This is going to be the first holiday I've spent in some time not hanging out with my family. So it feels a little strange. But I think I made the right decision this time around. Thinking about how I would have had to organize everything if I had decided to go with them would have been kind of a lot. I don't know, it's just been a very relaxed pace overall. I feel like everybody else is freaking out about Christmas to some degree, but I'm just being chilling. I'm gonna flatten this one out too. Actually, I'm gonna flip it over as well because it's got a nice little curve upward that I think would fit this area very well. Let me thin it out just a tiny bit, though. Oh yeah. A quick report on the sauce that I was making yesterday and was pausing stream every 5 minutes to check on. Came out really nice. I threw a little bit of gochujang, some soda, a little bit of soy sauce on that bad boy. Real good stuff. The main staples of my diet, come to think of it, are like just chickpeas, whatever green leafy vegetables I can get my hands on, and whatever meat I can find. In some regards, I am very much like a... Hang on. That doesn't seem right, does it? No, it doesn't actually. Hang on. I know why I did this. This is supposed to be hanging off from the back here. Ditto for this one, I think. No, this one's supposed to be coiling around the plant itself. I'm gonna go with what my gut instinct says Christmas lights should work like, and I'm going to say that it's going to have kind of two cables, one that is for the bulb itself and the other one which is for just keeping everything put together. Okay, and then add another one here, and then add this one here, then this one over here. I think the secret to making like more realistic Christmas lights is to just make them look like frighteningly fragile pieces of shit. You know what I mean? I feel like these need to look like they would break if you sneeze on them, if you snooze on them. That reminds me, there was this one picture of somebody who bought a Christmas light set from Temu. Hang on, let me see if I can find it. There it is. Oh man, it's been reposted a couple of times. But look at this fucking thing. Temu, count your days. God. You can't even plug it in or nothing. Or maybe you can actually. Who knows? Maybe it's got like some kind of other way you can plug it in. This kind of eats, honestly. This is kind of fancy. It's not at all what you were probably hoping for, but you know, it's not bad in its own way. But yeah. Just hilariously funny. Why would you even buy Christmas lights from Temu? You could go to your local Dollarama, dollar store, whatever the fuck right now, and I bet you donuts to dollars that you could buy yourself a set of Christmas lights for nothing. They're like what, 20 to 30 LEDs that might not even have color on them. Yeah, no, you can get those for a song nowadays. It's like now how you can buy a 30 gigabyte USB for like less than $20. So the phrase "Temu count your days," something about it really, really dug itself into my cranium about it. I'm gonna be thinking about that one for a while. Okay, I'm gonna give this like a different feel to it just so it makes more sense, and there you go. Okay, so the idea I think is that it wrapped around. Okay, so here's the kind of flight path of the Christmas lights. They go up from back here, they wrap up, and then we get. Should we add one more then? Okay, no, wait, new idea. It wraps around, it produces this one, and then it goes back down to here. This snakes into the box of presents. Hang on. This is gonna suck to draw through later on, but I think it will look nice. But yeah, then it'll snake around behind the box of presents, and then go up from here. Thinking about the logistics of Christmas lights. Feel like I'm playing Factorio or something. Funnily enough, I haven't actually touched Factorio ever, but I feel like it's the kind of game that I would really enjoy. I don't know. There was this so there was this period in my life, right? I think it must have happened during like middle school, maybe early high school. I was a big fan of that of the Yogscast series where they were playing this Minecraft mod pack called Tekkit. And the thrust of that mod pack is that it combines some sorcery stuff with some technological stuff. Very interesting. I do think it inspired a certain sense of wonder and curiosity that I feel like is just not readily available sometimes. I remember the whole thing with Tekkit is that they were trying to build a cake factory or like this kind of cookie factory. But one of the things that I like to do in Minecraft, not even as a bit, but literally in Minecraft, was that I liked to start a new save file. I would get to the point where I like could basically mine diamond stuff and just all kinds of overpowered goodies by the snap of my fingers, and then I would never open that world again, and I would just move on to a new one. That is the closest thing that I've had to like the hashtag, a true hashtag grind set. But yeah, like because like once I got to a certain point, it's like, okay, I guess I could keep building like a fancy castle or something. But honestly, I just kind of want to go back to struggling to survive again. How am I supposed to enjoy my Minecraft without a drink? No, that in any case, that is something that I used to do. I don't remember why. Right, I brought that up because I was talking about Factorio. I feel like Factorio is kind of like that, where I'll be fascinated by the early game's kind of struggle for survival, and then just trying to establish larger bases. And then later on, I'll be like, I guess I could improve my efficiency like one billionth of a percent by burning down like an entire planet. But who cares at this point? It's not fun. Although who knows? Maybe Factorio is the one that will eliminate. In fact, maybe Factorio is well designed enough that it will eliminate that emotion. Like that's something that I've been pleasantly surprised by playing Bloodstained is just how little I feel like some of the stuff that I was worried about is actually affecting me. Like I was worried I would be too dense to understand like some of where the secrets are hidden, or to do map percentage. I wouldn't be asked to do map coverage at all. But I've just been enjoying my time with it, honestly. Maybe that'll change a little bit later on, so maybe I shouldn't sing victory too quickly. But I do think that it's very elegantly addressed all of the issues that I thought I would have with this game. Oh yeah, speaking of which, I actually did go back for a little bit on Sunday, I think, to play some more Bloodstained, just so I could recover some of the progress we lost during the crash that occurred at the end of the session last time. I did really enjoy it. Honestly, and I did a little bit more progress too. Like I went back to grind some of the shards that would have been useful. Or not even useful. I just went back to grind the shards that we didn't get from the enemies. So now we do have that one shard that gives us like one-handed weapon proficiency, which is useful. I'll need to keep that one around. The one I'm looking forward to making progress the most with is actually the sword familiar one. I don't know, something very charming about just having a flying pet that can also stab things. That sounded deranged. Oh, this one's like, oh, I see. I understand. Crimus, that's right. Hey, Ryan. It's almost Christmas time. It's almost very nearly Christmas tomorrow. Oh, I drew that on the wait, what? Oh, I guess it'd be like this. Yeah, all right, we could do that. Why not? I think midway through the looping, I must have accidentally drawn this stuff on the opposite side, but that's fine. No biggie. You're discovering your own hieroglyphs here. Yeah. That is a case when you work on something that uses a very difficult pattern or has some kind of like weird technique, and then you just like leave it for a couple days, and you would hope that you remember the technique, but no, it's just gone. We did not have that stuff downloaded. But yeah, Christmas time, huh? And then it's New Year's after a couple of days after that. Crazy stuff. Where do we put hang on, we can put Rice Beast just kind of over here. And we should give it a little Santa hat. What's next? 2025? Shit needs to stop happening for a bit. True, real stuff. Real stuff. Hi, Preston. No, I wholeheartedly agree. Too much stuff has been happening recently. There's this dude in Bloodstained who's like, his study was about slowing things down, and I'm like, brother, can you do that for time? We have had like 5 years in the span of 1 year. Pavzolomew. I like that one. I think like in terms of extensions of my name, it goes. I think like my new top one is probably Pabzolomew. Number 2 would probably be what's another extension? Pabsword. And then number 3, which I really don't like, is Pabathan. Pabathan is, I don't know, something about it is sauceless. And then we can give it a tiny little Santa hat. Maybe hanging off one of the ears? Or actually, wait, we can just give it a full-on, hang on. A full-on hat with ears coming out. Okay, and then we get this part done. There we go. But yeah, and trying to plan stuff for the holidays without having to also account for visiting family has been surprisingly invigorating. Pabswell, Pabsolomew, Pabathan, Pabsword, Pabsrick. Pabsrick is kind of good. I'm a fan of Pabsrick. Pabsword is that thing that I use to log into my Me account. I got 4,000 rice grains in my Pabs account. Also, hang on. Let me open up. Hang on. This is about to get a little bit paracausal, so hang on. Here it is. Just gonna grab my own PNG real quick. Fun fact, I could edit this right now, and if I stopped yapping, it would actually show up for real. Who the fuck is that? I don't know. He looks very handsome, though. I mean, look at that sweater. That's a sweater with game if I've ever seen one. Let's see. He got that shit on. No doubt. No doubt he does. With the red chanclas too? My god. This man is dripping. I am actually quite happy about how simple my Christmas outfit is, but just how nicely it goes together with the rest of my me. I don't know, it's just nice to put on a cute little sweater sometimes. I'm gonna give Tool a green sweater, actually. That way we'll look a little bit like Santa Workshop elves. You're not gonna believe... I'm happy that you mentioned that, because you're not gonna believe what I based it off of. You have a good eye. It is precisely supposed to invoke that. It's such a... I don't know how to put it. There's just some images that really like transmit this kind of idea of kindness. And this is one of them. It's just such a non-hostile, nice picture. It radiates a certain warmth. That's a good way to put it. Huh. You know, with the pink pants on, it kind of looks like Tool is stealing my whole flow. So I'm going to give Tool some darker pants. I did actually base Tool's design kind of like an inversion of mine to some extent. There we go. I think Tool will try to one-up Paps by saying they celebrate every holiday. God. I feel like you're onto something with that idea. Tool who is multitasking organizations for celebrating Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and Christmas all at the same time, accidentally becoming a pillar of the community in the process. Actually, come to think of it, I've got an idea. What if we gave Tool a white sweater and then put green... Yeah, I think that might actually be better. I'm going to give Tool a white sweater and then put green on it. Tool made the pilgrimage to Mecca? God. Tool is the last remaining holder of the Dionysian cult's secrets. The idea that Tool is just accidentally ridiculously well-versed in matters of religion is actually really funny. Tool, I celebrate holidays you haven't even heard of, Rhizoman. Adding the yellow to the box helps make it stand out a little bit more. Okay. Hang on. Where's the gap here? Oh, it's back here. Tool isn't one of those scary ass, like, you know those pagan holidays they still celebrate in, what do you call in like Norwegian, in like countries close to Norway where they have like a goat skull or some shit on a stick and they're like, ooh. Tool celebrates all Independence Days because he hates the British. Actually, the funniest part is that Pabs is an immigrant, but Tool technically isn't. Like both of them were made through like magical means, but Tool does have American / Canadian citizenship because they were. I was born in Ecuador, but Tool was like generated in a lab somewhere in the northern hemisphere. Being born in a vat is no excuse for ignorance. I mean, I wasn't born in a vat. That was Tool's deal, and honestly, hers was more like a weird coffin thingy that I actually didn't get a good look at it. Tool drew me a drawing once of it, but she just made it like it was kind of weird looking. It looked a little bit like hang on. What did it look like? There was like a name for it. The Miller-Urey experiment. Yeah, it looked a little bit like the Miller-Urey experiment setup. But a little bit more like a coffin than a... Hang on. So imagine like a coffin-looking shape, and then there's like a bunch of other crap connected to it. And also there's a big magnifying glass for the moon's power to come through. Yeah, and apparently that's where Tool was born. The Miller-Urey experiment. Call that shit, Come on, I gotta have something in there. I gotta have something in there. There has to be a pun we can make between Yuri and also like primordial soup. Would it be too out of pocket to say it's a primordial the primordial Yuri swap? No, I think that's too much. Not to mention, I don't know if there really exists such a thing as Yuri Slop. I don't think that that's been made yet. We'll workshop it. Yeah, we'll need to get our top minds on this one. Honestly, sadly, I'm not enough of a lesbian to have access to all the knowledge and terminology. Somebody with more expanded knowledge than mine could easily put that bridge together, but that's not going to be up to me. Okay, the background behind the Christmas lights is almost ready. There is Yuri Slop, unfortunately. Well, I can't really be mad at that, to be honest. I don't think I do think that every sexuality deserves their own particular customized form of slop. I wish they had improved slop, but I don't think they should be denied the existence of that slop. They're trying their best. I mean, if you think about it, right, in terms of like progressiveness and whatnot, I think kind of the stage where we're at is kind of like in that era of like when that Nagatoro-san manga started coming out and everybody was obsessed with like having like, you know, very sappy rom-com, zero conflict or otherwise really strange conflict mangas. I think we might be seeing that stage currently in development. I mean, to be honest, it's all been a pretty decent year for Yuri. I think that green manga got a localization, and I know Love Bullet was very popular back in, I want to say, summer. I still haven't read Love Bullet. I want to read it because the character designs and the art style seem really interesting. Okay, let's see. Better an overabundance than a famine. That's true. Más que sobra que fa falte. That's the way we would used to say that in Spanish. I am working on the wrong layer. Thank goodness I checked just now. Honestly, though, besides those two, I can't really think of any like major Yuri developments that occurred. I think by the beginning of the year, what was it called? Which from Mercury had already wrapped up, right? I'm pretty sure. So it's hard to say that there were any developments on that front. Gonna make a red present. Gonna make a little green present. Or actually, maybe this is where we add the white present. God, Witch from Mercury feels like it's still fairly new, but we're already getting a new one. The time period where Witch from Mercury was airing feels like a lifetime away now. Let's see. What else is there? Perfect. Although, actually, now the handle here. Stop, I feel old. Motherfucker, you're like 23. Or 24, I guess, by this point, probably. Either 23 or 24. Either way, you're younger than me. $22. God damn it! You're mogging me. You're like reverse age mogging me. But yeah, no. 22 is a crazy time of your life because like at that point you'll be like, oh man, I'm so close to being 23, but you're not actually that close to being 23. The fact of the matter is, you don't feel 23 until you're like 25. Then you start feeling 23. 22 is like 21 part 2. I don't know what 23 is. Don't ask me. I think we just skipped 22 entirely in terms of feeling your age. I have no idea what that means and it's scaring me. You'll understand when you're 25. God, I'm 25 now. I'm old enough to be I'm old enough to be a lonely single anime teacher. I say that with excitement, by the way. Same, yeah. Now, being 25 has being 25, I've only been 25 for a little while, but it definitely feels a little bit weird. Tab Sensei, when are you gonna get hitched? Shit, brother, I don't know. you got me there. I can't give you a hard estimate. Oh god, and now I have the nickname Sensei 2 in V's server. I am genuinely cooked on this front. A lot of people tell me I look young, which I personally don't see because how the fuck? I mean, I can kind of relate, but I also can't because, like, I don't know. I've been wearing a mask since the pandemic, and my eyes look old as fuck, but my face looks fairly young. It evens out to make me look my age, but like when people can only see my eyes, are like, oh man, this rough night or hard life, motherfucker. I had people asking what high school grade I'm in. That's crazy. Keep moisturizing though. You'll if you keep moisturizing, you'll preserve most of that. When it really counts. Actually, I might do green ribbon on this one. Select color gamut, this one here. But yeah, I have actually been getting like, oh wow, you look older than you actually are a couple times. I remember one time, because I took a bunch of summer courses for most of my time in university, I had someone in one of my classes from my final year be like, wait, how old are you? And I was like, oh, I'm like 20. And she's like, oh, you're just a baby. She didn't seem particularly surprised, but she also was like did not see that coming. It did feel a little bit patronizing. That's how people in the server talk to me. The sad thing is that you are unfortunately like the most true blue zoomer we have. Like I think I also technically qualify as a zoomer. I was born very close to the end of 1999. So I still technically qualify as, hang on, Gen Z Wikipedia. Every single time I reveal my age, it always floors everybody. Shit, from 1997 to from 2012? Oh shit, okay, so I am actually a zoomer. Hard yes on the zoomer designation. As the first social generation to have grown up with access to the internet and portable digital technology from a young age, members of Generation Z have been dubbed digital natives, and even if they are not necessarily digitally literate, and may struggle in a digital workplace. God. I am 1 year away from being Gen Z. Yeesh. Been haunting this earth since 2002. Digital literacy, huh? A teacher and his students at a computer lab. The teacher looks like he's not supposed to be there. Like, look at the expression on this dude's face. Tool, I am every generation, Ryza man. Tool would be a friggin... What's the one after Gen Z? Gen Alpha? Tool is Gen Alpha. Tool isn't even like 3 years old at this point. Tool is like born yesterday. I will say that it is funny to me, the idea that Tool has like a very single-minded focus and like a very strong sense of will, but is also 100% an iPad baby. Like, sometimes I'll catch them like watching short-form video content on their tablet, and I'll be like, I don't think you should be watching all that. I don't know if I like what that's doing to your developing water-based brain. Okay, then over here. There's something just so inherently funny to me about the phrase iPad baby. Like, that child has been on a tablet. Tool would watch Cocomelon. Tool's just like watching me watch friggin', I don't know, Columbo or some shit, and it's like, this is bullshit. Let me put you onto some real television programming. And they pull up the Cocomelon dancing video. I took a peep over their shoulder the other day while they were working on something in the laptop, and I saw them putting my head onto one of those skibbity toilet things. Very disturbing. We can just get rid of this last light bulb, I think. Tool will be the kid to add an FNF mod song to the class playlist. Stop. I will say, I was very lucky that I chose to spend the limited lifetime that my wrists have on drawing rather than becoming like an Osu player or trying to become a rhythm gamer. I don't know. It just seems like a much better use of my own time, of my limited time on this earth. Rhythm game players scare me so fucking bad because I have such bad coordination. I am definitely one of those people who is like scared by people who are good at things that they're not good at. I'm scared by rhythm game players. Like, if somebody hits a 400 hit combo or like perfects a song on that Taiko Tatsujin game, I am scared of them. I am like, you are some kind of Dune Mentat motherfucker, and I need to get away from you. Same for people who are good at like Marvel and shit. Like, normal fighting game skill is like, okay, yeah, for sure. Normal people get good at fighting games like that. For Marvel fighting games, it's like they've got 3 characters, and also they can combo those characters in strings together. That's just like, what are you doing with your brain? Why are you able to think laterally like that? I feel like I could have a conversation with like five, like we could be like seven other people in the same room having three different conversations, and you would be able to track all three of them at once. I am perhaps giving them too much credit, but that's part of exaggerating for comedic effect. I feel that. Mm-hmm. Come to think of it, I was actually on my way out of school. It's like this art is quite Pepsi, and it really makes you think. Thank you. Yeah, come to think of it, I was actually like about to leave. I was on the way out of high school by the time that by the time that the mascot horror crack hit the proverbial streets. So it felt very strange to me. It felt like I was like on a perfect breakaway point where like the children at my, like the younger kids, the kids in the younger grades at my school were like not quite yet talking about like mascot horror stuff. But then like when I went to Walmart, maybe the first year of university, that at that point I was seeing like Five Nights at Freddy's stuff in like the stationery aisle, and I'm like, huh. How about that? I do remember that the first year I was in university, I ended up buying a Hatsune Miku bookmark from Walmart. I still have it to this day. I think it's currently in my copy of House of Leaves. It was previously in my copy of the original Kamen Rider manga. Absolutely neuron mogging these children. That's the thing. I feel like the kind of brain plasticity afforded by having so many fixations at once, so many points of focus at once, is gonna give them some kind of advantage that we haven't been able to think of yet. Like I don't know, maybe if you get well versed enough in like Friday Night Funkin' mods, you will be able to move rocks with your mind. Maybe they'll be the ones to unlock that sixth human instinct that everybody thought we had lost. New types? Yeah, basically. Needs to be a little bit more orange looking. That seems good. Okay. What else do we need to do? Let me add a couple more folds over here to this curtain thing. God, it's actually been quite a while since I've actually put up the just chatting screen. I remember I used to have a habit of going to it before every stream and then going to, whatever the hell I was doing that day. But after a while I just started going directly into the drawing screen like this one. That being said, I don't really miss it. It felt very strange because it felt like it was making too much effort to make something out of like the introduction. I wish the brain space I have that still remembers what all the champions in League of Legends can do could be cleared out because I don't need that knowledge no more. I understand. Boy, what's something that I wish I hadn't spent so much time on? I don't know. I feel like I would want to erase my memories of having read Homestuck, but then I feel like I would probably just read it again out of morbid curiosity. I guess I don't really use my Pokemon knowledge all that much these days. But I don't want to lose that either. Is Homestuck that bad? That's the thing. Homestuck itself is not that bad. In fact, I would say it's actually quite a good webcomic. The thing is that because of its rather fanatical fan spaces and just kind of unusual content, it gained like a reputation for being like, oh god, here come the Homestucks. You know, it's very much like a. I would actually recommend, if you're interested at all in the ways that multiple media can be used to tell a story, and you want to read a story that could only ever be told through the web medium, you should read Homestuck. If you're interested in, if that's at all sounds like something you might be interested in, you should try and read Homestuck. It is really long as well. Imagine, okay, so I think but beyond the fact that like the fan space was kind of weird, imagine if like the length of One Piece with like the kind of weird power shit that happens in some of the later Hunter x Hunter chapters was kind of put together. So it's not impossible to decipher, and it's actually quite fascinating if you once you do get into it. But there is like a learning curve. But yeah, I personally don't think Homestuck is that bad. There are some people who will be like, "Oh, it ruined my life," but you know, it's like it's been out of really. It's been finished for like what? It's been finished since 2016, maybe 2019. No, yeah, no, it finished sometime 2019. I'm pretty sure. Let me double check that information. X7, this was... Okay, this is a YouTube re-upload. 8 years ago, so yeah, 2016 actually. Sheesh. But yeah, 8 years ago. It's a long ass time. But you know, it's been 8 years. I think at this point, if you want to read it, I don't think there's any major roadblocks. And in fact, there are some ways you can read the webcomic that have been taken offline. Like for example, there is literally a version of Homestuck that you can download to your computer and modify it so it removes some of the slurs that were used originally during the run of the webcomic. Oh yeah, I guess that's a pretty bad part of it. It does drop the R word a couple of times. It is a webcomic that came out in 2009, so I guess I was still kind of in that ballpark zone of using that word. They got mods for a webcomic. It's crazy, yeah. Yeah, the thing is that a lot of the webcomic was originally told through Flash animation. And, you know, some stuff that was made in Flash, because of the fact that Flash is no longer supported, it can't actually work anymore. So what the modded version does is that it also preserves the ability to read the Flash chapters. Like I said, very impressive. I think the online version currently doesn't support the non-Flash version of the games, because that's the crazy part. It even has like games as part of the story. It has like these short little Flash games that you can play to interact with the story through that medium. Sounds interesting, but I don't think that's my type of autism, I will be honest. That's fine. It doesn't need to be. God. That reminds me that there was this one time. The thing is too, because like I personally remembered not liking Homestuck very much a little while after I finished it, because I was like one of those people that it was like, oh man, this thing is great. I bet everybody likes this. And then that turned out to be very much not the case when I was like showing it to other people. And I was very confused because like, man, why don't you understand how good this is? And you know, it took me a while to grow out of that. So yeah, part of my how would you say, like deferred resentment towards it is the fact that I was like not particularly sensitive about the fact that like some people will just not straight up not vibe with us, and that's not bad. Thankfully, I am now a mature and normal person. So now, whenever somebody says that something that I like is dog shit, I block them on social media. I remember there was this one random VTuber that I just got on my feed one time for whatever reason, and I was like immediately holding a grudge because they said Chainsaw Man sucked, and I was like, how dare you? Oh wait, I could block you. And then I blocked them, and life was great. I will say that whenever they pop up on my feed, I still have like that small, very minimal kind of grudge, but otherwise, like having beef with with just exactly one random person on the internet is something that can genuinely save you. That's not true. Don't do that. Wait, okay. Red, yellow, blue, green, red, yellow, blue, green, red, yellow, blue, green, red, yellow, blue, green. Red, yellow, blue, green. This is taking me an embarrassing amount of concentration. Maybe I am Gen Alpha. Red, yellow, blue, green. Red, yellow, blue, green. I have a hard time memorizing like longer strings of numbers and stuff like that. If there's like a visual thing to accompany it, I actually am decent at remembering most of it. But if it's like if it's just like a verbal order, I'm toast. I'm a grown-ass man who works at a Dollar Tree with limited hours in my day. I am not scrolling through your profile to figure out if it's bait or if you're genuine. I will simply block you. It wasn't bait, sadly. That one time I did hold a grudge. But yeah, no. Basically, if anybody says anything annoying, or if it feels like some posts will be annoying in the future, straight to the block button. It's such a relief sometimes, genuinely. There we go. Okay. What should we do for... I got like 6,800 something people blocked. Hang on, how many people do I have blocked on, let's say... For the sake of not providing any personal information, let's just make up a name for a social media. Let's call it Twitter. Hang on. Let's see. Privacy and safety. Mute and block. Blocked accounts. Does it say how many people I have muted or blocked? I don't think it does. There's also imported blocked accounts, which I find to be a funny phrase, because obviously it means something like, oh, you brought these in from another social media site. It says on mobile. I don't have my mobile phone on me. Hang on, I will be right back. I'm gonna check on this. I've returned with my phone. Let's see. Account, settings and privacy. Privacy and safety. Mute and block. Blocked accounts 510. God damn. I'm on a roll. Still, that is like a rookie number to compare to your power level there, Preston. I gotta get my stats up. Actually, that reminds me. Now that the sweater's a different color, maybe I should swap out tools. Pant color. Darker pants works better with the lighter sweater, I think. I simply hate. That's my secret, Cap. I've always been a hater. Okay, flatten this one out a little bit more. Just so the crease is not so dramatic. Okay. Let's work on shading the background first, actually. So I think the first thing to do would be to add a wood paneling texture on the floor. Blocking some people ain't enough, though. I need to strike them with a lightning bolt. I got what you mean. It's tough sometimes, too, because, like, sometimes it's not even... I will admit to using the For You page quite a bit on Twitter. And sometimes it's like, I not only need to... like, sometimes I'll block somebody quote-unquote retweeting something, but other times I need to straight up just block the original tweet. Or block the account of the original person who tweeted it. Oh, actually, that reminds me. I need to go get the... Hang on. Clip Studio Asset Moderation Policy. About enforcement measures, it has come to our attention there have been a sudden increase in prohibited materials, low-quality materials, and materials that do not align with the goals of the service. Huh. That seems like it might be bad. One of those primary instances of low-quality materials are those that do not have enough information in the thumbnail or explanation. God. Let's see. Huh. Okay, that doesn't really affect me much. Moving on. I'm gonna need to see if I can find the same wood floor. Hang on. Wood texture. Oh, here it is. Yeah, I can just get this again. This material already exists. Do you want to download again and overwrite? Yes, please. Oh, it's still not showing up. Maybe, hang on, downloaded material? Maybe if I use floor? Nope. What about, user tag. Some of these look complicated. Panorama, body type, body shape, 3D background, pose, line, noise, circle. The hell is a circle tag? Oh, it's like Bend-Aid dots. I see. Other tool, gradient set, paper texture, image material. Oh man, I have a lot in here. Sheesh, okay. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. The program's like freaking out. Hang on. Oh shit, did it? Ah, crap. I think I saved pretty recently. This isn't oh, there we go. Alright, that's good. I was worried we lost a lot of progress. Let's not do that again, though. Hang on, maybe I can use... I need to do it smarter instead of harder. Nope. Where the hell is these things? Floor? Wait, maybe if I use... Hang on. No, that's still not what I'm looking for. Alright, it should be downloading now. Maybe I need to exit out of this and then come back. Yikes. There's a ton. I don't even remember downloading these. What's this one do? Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That's a pretty cool pattern, actually. But not the one that I'm looking for. I really gotta clean up one of my... I gotta clean up some of my folders for materials at some point. This is no way for someone to live. Location of materials. Nope. This is not locked in behavior, Clip Studio. Ah, screw it. You got what is this? Walling wood? Fuck it, you got the walling wood. I'm retconning my floors. A shameful display. Listen, it's not showing up. What do you want me to do about it? I'm good, but I'm not like pull rabbit out of thin air good. Maybe there is something we can do. Hold on tight. We still haven't searched everywhere. Because at some point we might have accidentally put it somewhere else. Well, maybe not accidentally. Not here. Not really here either. Maybe it got taken down somehow? But how would that work? Oh yeah, I need to collect my login bonus too before I forget. Let me think. So it's not available through the asset store no matter how much I try to re-download it. Or maybe there is a different way. Hang on. Downloads. Deleted? No. Is there no way to search for these more efficiently? Well, I haven't. It's not like I downloaded at all that much, right? May I need to hang on. Here's what let's do. I'm going to close the program and reopen it. That might help. Please, 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 please. Alright, I'm stumped. I have no idea how to... Unless... Hang on. A third idea has hit the Pab's brain. I still have the original file from that I used to make the room. If I didn't rasterize the material, then... Okay, yeah. No, shit, this is rasterized, though. Although, if I delete the mask, apply the new one, get rid of this second layer, and then just move this kind of like this. Ah, close enough. Yeah, I wouldn't call it perfect, but it'll do for now. Regarding the wood... what the hell, I'll say that I crashed through the floor at some point, and we had to refloor the place. It's kind of bugging me that we can see the bottom of Rice Beast, so I'm gonna also make it a little bit bigger. My greedy fat fuck beast. Why is it not selecting the raster lines? Wait, oh my god, Rice Beast is... Rice Beast isn't a... doesn't have lines, he's just a raster object. Oh my god. I'm so sorry I did you like that, Rice Beast. Okay, let's do a... Okay, yeah, we said we were gonna start on the shading first for the floor. The lights would mostly be coming from up here as well as from the top, so it's kind of hard to say which way they should cast. Let me add some color to that shadow there. Me when I have to turn my son into a raster object because I'm bored. Me when I have to turn my son into a raster object because I wasn't paying enough attention. I need like the layer equivalent of like one of those child leashes. Just so I don't lose my son slash pet slash cat thing. Roommate, I guess? It's kind of hard to describe my relationship with Rice Beast. Other than saying that he's my little buddy. Okay, filter, blur, Gaussian blur, just a tiny little bit. Symbiotic? Well, I guess Rice Beast does bite me a lot. So I suppose you could call that a form of symbiosis. Yeah, Rice Beast bites me, and in exchange it makes me a lot of the different equipment around the house. Actually, Rice Beast built my house, so... You know, I guess technically Rice Beast is my landlord. That doesn't sound right either. If it is, it never charges me rent. Except unless the biting is my rent? This is complicated. Anyway, to some extent we both benefit from each other, so it's all good. Although if Rice Beast were my landlord, it would definitely be a parasitic relationship. Now I'm just picturing myself like one of those big rhinos that have those birds that eat the parasites on their body. Again, not what my relationship would be with Rice Beast, but it's close enough. I guess? Also, I think I forgot to make the edge of the wall somewhere around here. Come to think of it, I don't really remember when I met Rice Beast. It must have been a long time ago. I'm pretty sure they probably bid me then, too. They're very consistent in that regard. Or I guess it's very consistent. I keep messing up Rice Beast its pronouns. I'm still on my kind of random lottery mode that I use for Tool. Literally, whenever I try to use Tool's pronouns, I want you to imagine my brain doing like a sort of casino slots machine sound effect, and then me deciding on which one to use is like the jackpot sound effect. You know who I'm kind of jealous of, though? Streamers who got to experience Undertale during the year it came out. That was like a generational reaction video. That would have been generational reaction content. Okay, gradient erase. Somewhere around here. If both species benefit from the relationship, it's mutualistic. If only one species benefits and nothing happens to the other, then it's commensalism. If only one species benefits while the other is harmed, it's parasitic. Huh. I guess it's something... It's between mutualistic and commensalism, then. I guess it's mostly mutualistic. Okay, and then over here. Undertale was the first game I ever got on Steam. That's crazy to me. Again, that's almost to me that, like... That is one of those moments where that is where I can see why some people in the server are like, oh wow, Preston is mega young, because the first game I got on Steam was Portal. With my old ass. Still, hell of a first game to have on your library. One really good champagne bottle to crack, proverbially. I remember one time I tried to gift Undertale to one of my friends, but because he lived overseas, Steam triggered one of those, like, region lock thingies. Kind of a bummer. 13 when it came out. Okay. That more or less tracks with the timeline, yeah. Okay, then over here we can use this. That's really crazy to me, actually, because what the fuck do you mean it's been almost 10 years? God. Does not feel like 10 years. It really doesn't, does it? Those lines are not aligned with what I want with the... Hang on. I don't know how it's possible to draw these lines crooked when they're literally just supposed to be just a normal straight direction. Okay, then over here. God, the craziest part of Homestuck to me was recognizing Megalovania, because that song to me was used in Homestuck first. Like, there's a couple of songs from that were originally used as part of the background music in Homestuck that made it into Undertale. Like, I get an extra little kick out of hearing Megalovania. Because that's not the Undertale song. That's a song for my acquaintance Vriska. Expropriated for that strange skeleton man. The crazy part is that everything about Undertale leads back to Homestuck in one way or another. You mean Ness? Shut the fuck up! No, I meant Steven Universe. Fuck, I forgot about that. Oh god, I forgot about the game theory era of Undertale. Fuck. Such a strange and tremendous time. A brave new world of content slop. God, I remember game theory back when the main thrust of the guy's channel was not like some lore hypothesis, but rather like being like, oh, okay, so this is how much it would cost to make Minecraft's suit of armor, diamond suit of armor in real life, and how much protection it would grant. I'm like, yes, brother, you're like Mythbusters. And then like later on, it was like the quiet loneliness of FNAF World, and I'm like, man, what happened to you? You used to stand for something. I don't even know if MadPat's still around. I don't. Did the channel get taken from him? Was he subjugated from his own channel? It'll be kind of a bummer if he was. Like I don't have any personal attachment to the guy whatsoever. Just to be clear, I just think it's a shame that something that someone started got taken from them. He sold it. It shows up every so often. Never mind. I have no sympathy in my heart then. Listen, if you sell your channel, you know exactly what's going to happen to it. I fear. You've literally sold out. You have sold out. Like you are the textbook definition of a sellout. Like last night, right? Preston, you weren't here for this, but last night we were looking at some different news releases for that re-release of Off on the Switch. And one of the things that we found that we stumbled upon as an advertisement for one of the sites was like an R18 version of Luigi's Mansion that was on Kickstarter. And you know, I poked fun of it for a little bit, but I was kind of sad that the Kickstarter never actually got funded. Like the Kickstarter for that game didn't get funded. It fell short of its goal. You know, I do still feel for art that will never come to be. However, he did literally sell his channel. Anything that happens from here on out is on him. Well, I guess it's not literally on him. It's quite actually not on him. RPG Maker Horror Luigi's Mansion. I mean, what would that even be like, though? Would that... I mean... It would just be kind of like a fishing minigame, wouldn't it be? Nah, come on. This is what it's come to? The secret cult of Dress to Impress? And it's 20 minutes long, too. You know there is no depth to that. Mario and the Music Box. Look it up. Hang on. Mario the Music Box. Remastered Edition. Contains some imagery or depictions unsuitable for those under the age of 13. This looks like some kind... This looks so sad. I don't like this. Like, look at my guy Mario. He should not look this bummed out. Poor guy. And who's this anime-looking motherfucker in the middle? Hang on. Who the fuck is this? Who's this? Like, I recognize Peach, Mario, and Luigi, but, like, who are these two Danganronpa-looking motherfuckers? The only time I've seen Mario in an RPG Maker game is I remember watching this one video. Wait, hold on. One more. I'm not done. I got one more in me. Phantom hands grabbing Mario's booty. Why are they just like grabbing his ass? This is like a really unfortunate combination of graphical elements. Like, you can have hands grasping for your character, but you should absolutely not do it like directly over the ass. It's like Corpse Party, but with Mario. Ugh. Sounds kind of awful. I don't know. It might be good. I don't know though. I'm actually not that big of a fan of Corpse Party. I didn't really like Corpse Party kind of in general. In terms of like the RPG Maker horror games that were showcased eventually, I did not have a particular soft spot for Corpse Party. What RPG Maker horror game was I really into, though? I'm trying to think. I was very much a coward, so that's the thing. So I don't think I really liked any particular horror games. There was this one YouTuber I used to watch a long time ago who used to cover a lot of them, though. He covered ones like Witch's House, Mad Father, and ones like that. But I stopped watching him, I don't know, sometime in 2019? And then, of course, I got hooked on VTubers a little bit shortly after that, so... God, it really is crazy to think that there was a brief window of time in the pandemic before I was aware of VTubers. That's so freaky to me. Like, I feel like I've known VTubers for... I've had, like, the VTuber brainworms for so long that it feels weird to remember a time before I knew about them. I used to be obsessed with Mogeko's Castle. Yeah, that one was so dark. Like, let's be clear, none of these games are a comedy musical, but I remember Mogeko's Castle in particular was like very much on the disturbing side. I feel like you were probably one of the kids who was like much braver and liked looking into that stuff though, Preston. I guess instead of being obsessed with horror games, I kind of baton passed myself between Undertale and what do you call Homestuck. Yeah, little kid me was a weirdo. I mean, let's be real. That also leads to some very enriching experiences. I was gonna start by saying like most of the people here were weirdos as children. I don't know what was I kind of like. What was I all about in middle school? I remember obviously I was very much into Homestuck itself, but I don't remember like what took over after that. I don't think I was particularly into anything. Enriching is a word for it. That's true. I think during that kind of interim period between like whenever Homestuck dropped and whenever I got hooked on VTubers, I was just like watching any old thing. I remember I watched most of the early seasons of that Archer TV show with a buddy of mine too. We used to watch them in the cafeteria, or not in the cafeteria. What we used to do is that we used to take one of the laptops that we had, and we used to sneak it out to like the secluded place where we would just eat lunch and watch a couple of episodes of Archer. There was also a time where Akagame ga Killed was my favorite anime when I was in middle school. I don't remember Akagame ga Killed. I don't think I've seen that one. I remember watching Kill la Kill in high school. I remember that one. Yeah, this looks like an anime, alright. I can't say much more beyond that. That is also the other thing that I was kind of like doing, is I was just like watching seasonal animes at that time, I think. I remember that. I remember during that era, I ended up watching one of those. There was this one anime where like the main protagonist was this dude who was like a country bumpkin, but he was from a village at like the kind of end boss level area of the world map. So because of that, he was very much over leveled for a lot of for the context of the anime. It was popular for a time, but it came and went. You know what that reminds me of, actually? Kakegurui. What happened to the Kakegurui guys? Like, I remember seeing a bunch of Kakegurui things all over the place for some reason, and then nothing. Like, I can't imagine it fell off that badly. Maybe it's just that no more episodes of it were produced past the first couple seasons. Like, I don't imagine it's a scenario of, like, Darling in the Franxx where it just became offensively bad in terms of writing. Also, Mirai Nikki. I can't ever look at Mirai Nikki without feeling an intense and almost Pavlovian feeling of shame. I tried watching Mirai Nikki, but it got too, like, it got, like, too dark for me. I was like, man, this shit is crazy. Somebody just got stabbed through the eye with a dart. But better hop off. My ass better go. I better take my sensitive ass back to Azumanga Daioh. I will say that from the few episodes that I did watch from Mirai Nikki, I will say that it had a very good way of giving a lot of different characters some really good aura. Like, it was very good at introducing characters and then making you be like, oh my god, what the fuck? What is this guy's deal? Like, namely that one, like that one person who I said got stabbed through the eye with a dart. That was one of the instances where I'm like, oh my god, these people are locked the fuck in. Shout out to the woman who was straight up a terrorist. Right, she was the one who got stabbed in the eye. I don't think she was even championing a cause. She was just blowing shit up for the love of the game. I think her cause was just to get points on whatever messed up leaderboard they were using for the story. I wouldn't say without it was just for the love of the game, but I will say that it was very much not for a noble cause. Let's see, select color gamut, this one here. I forget the rules of like the death game in Mirai Nikki 2. Like, was it that you had to go out and murderize somebody who had a phone as well, or like was it just that if you happened to be in the same area as somebody with one of the magical phones, you were kind of compelled to do it? Was it like an enemy stand user kind of dealio? Like, why did these people need to kill each other again? It's kind of unclear. It was like everyone had a diary, but mostly, but not always, a phone, and they had to kill each other so they could become a god. Right, that was like the driving force of it. Is attain godhood by killing people because your phone told you to. God. Sometimes you really do just have to take a step back and really consider the plot lines of the things that you're watching. I think the best shows are the ones that have the kind of like a gradual buy-in, you know? Like it's not immediately, oh, you need to use this phone to become God. You know, it's like, oh, okay, so the phone gives you missions and there's bonuses for completing the missions. The missions. Some folks got straight up screwed by their own diaries. Oh my god, it's like that scene in Mean Girls where they get foiled by the burn book. Okay, let's see. Still, that is kind of funny. Magical book, why have you betrayed me? I don't know. Or magical phone, why have you betrayed me? That would be kind of interesting as a series concept. Like, it's a diary of, like, this one cursed object that everybody just seems to keep finding and getting their hands on. Like, on the one hand, you have one guy who has a diary that always tells his next target's location, and another person whose diary always gives them a perfect escape route. Right? Those sound useful in the context of, like, a murdering game. What are some of the stinker diaries? I think I watched up until the episode where the child was introduced that had like a picture book diary. I think that was like my drop-off point. Let's see, density of paint, lower that. There we go. It does kind of give the vibe of that one Wizard War post where it's like, shit, man, this Wizard War is fucked. I'm out here with like this target planner that I bought that has like little motivational sayings on each day, and my opponent has some kind of weird tome of eldritch knowledge that tells them exactly how to kill me. This does not seem balanced. Mods, that guy's using his diary sideways. Okay, then we increase this. I just cover this area here. Then you had some kids who had a diary that would only give him updates 3 times a day, and a couple whose diaries can only tell what's happening to the other person. God. Really drew the short straws there, huh? Sucks to be them. What if they broke up in the middle of the game, too? Like, would they still have the same diaries that just kept them? Do you think, like, God, that would be like the worst version of being able to stalk your ex. That's like genuinely the worst version of it. You have a really bad breakup, and then one time the diary stops updating, and you're like, wait, is it time? And then it updates like 3 seconds later, and you're like, oh, God damn it. That's so fucking funny. I've thought about keeping a diary myself a couple of times, but I'm just not of the right discipline to do it. One girl had a diary that just straight up allowed her to see through the eyes of her cult members. God, I remember that episode. I remember that one. God, that was such a weird fucking vibe. I hated that. Like, we are like 5 episodes deep. Why are we getting involved in a cult? Why is there some dude who wants to be like a Sentai superhero with like 5 different masks running around? One dude whose diary updates him on other people's diaries. That's fucked up. I'm just imagining these in the context of like not even having like of it not even being a death game. Like, what would happen if like you had like a Twitter page that? Well, no, I was about to say what happens if you had a Twitter page that like some dude you didn't want to see that you didn't want anything to do with he could see it if it got updated. But then I realized that now you can just do that on Twitter. God, that's really funny. And that guy lost too, probably. Like, how do you fuck that up? Genuinely. Like, that's like showing up to a fist fight with a gun and then missing all your shots before the other guy finishes throwing the first punch. If you have that diary, you should feel ashamed of yourself for losing. That's like playing Happy Chaos and then not making it to at least top 8. Like, brother, you're literally playing a different game from everyone else. How are you losing? How are you losing? Actually, I know that Happy Chaos has gotten a few nerfs, but we have to keep downplaying him, or like upplaying him, I guess, because I mean, personally speaking, I would not care to see that tiny blue bastard at majors ever again. Playing Happy Chaos and not using the gun specials. That's exactly what happened. Ooh, I can't use my super secret special diary. It's not honorable. Brother, you are going to be killed. You are going to be murdered by other people. Genuinely don't remember how he lost. I couldn't imagine how he could lose. Just imagine whatever, like, godlike patron was endorsing that dude and being like, brother, seriously? I would simply have the superior diary. Yeah, Ryan's diary is the exact same as the guy whose diary can check on other people's diaries, except Ryan's diary also has like a few Hello Kitty stickers and some washi tape. That's how you get him. That's how you mock the other guy. The pink-haired yandere girl literally ripped apart the fabric of space to butcher him. Well, that's one way to solve a problem. Yeah, that'll do it. What do you want me to say? that would definitely do it. That's also the right way to deal with Happy Chaos players. By the way, just as a quick Dust Loops live update, that has been found to be the best way to deal with Happy Chaos players, is just rip apart space fabric and strangle them through the Ethernet connection. You are playing on Ethernet, right? There was also a guy who had a diary that allowed him to control an army of dogs. I don't even know what to say about that one. I mean, you're kind of like Squirrel Girl, but for dogs. How do you... That just seems like a very difficult thing to fuck up unless you don't have infinite dogs. Why is it called the Breeder's Diary? Ugh. You scroll down a couple more articles and you see one called the Stroker's Diary. The Gooner's Diary. I should not be allowed to have a microphone. Brother, I'm in this death game. Why do I have the Backshot Diary? No, you're fucking with me. There's no Stroker's Diary. There's no Gooner's Diary. You're fucking with me. There's no way. Please, God, no. It was a joke. It was a joke. Don't tell me they had some dude in here writing down on a book how many times he nutted a day. That's foul. That's unheard of. Yeah, I'm fucking with you. All right. You had me going. I'm like, there's no way. But maybe there is a way. I don't know. I didn't write the fucking story. There's a diary that reveals everyone's Spotify Wrapped. I don't give a fuck about that. I don't use Spotify. I would be the one person immune to that fuck-ass Spotify diary. God. In one of the fights, it's like, you're nice try, Spotify Wrapped diary user, but I have nothing to be ashamed of. And they're like, actually, as a matter of fact, it does show what music you've been listening to before Spotify Wrapped was introduced. And then the other person starts sweating cold bullets, like, what? I see you were a big Demon Dice fan back in the day. And he's like, no! So the Breeder's Diary is crazy work. I would not have... Imagine getting stabbed and then the last thing your diary shows you is that the person who stabbed you has listened to Mori Calliope for 300 hours. Yeah. I mean, I like a couple of Mori Calliope songs, but I'm not an avid listener. I'm not at the 300-hour mark by any means. God. That would suck, though. What if there was some dude who specifically listened to Rick Astley for like 500 hours in order to fuck with you just one last time before you died? Getting rickrolled on your own deathbed would really just be it for me, I think. Okay, let's see. We could also use some shading on the window here. Using the Spotify Wrapped diary to inflict psychic damage on the people who you're about to eliminate from the death game. Like I'm imagining the dude rubbing his hands and licking his lips when he sees that the person he's up against next listened to Drake a lot in the first half of the year. The worst diary has to go with a couple, the kid or the protagonist, whose diary tells him the fate of completely random people and shit, except for how he's gonna die. God. The crazy thing about the kid's diary is that I remember the kid was actually pretty competent in terms of murder. Like, literally the only reason the kid's murder methods didn't survive is because the yandere girl was a freak-ass who was able to see it coming at every turn. Like, if I remember correctly, it kind of escalated from the kid, like, putting poison into their foods, trying to electrocute them in the bathtub, to literally releasing poison gas inside of their house. Like, that child was locked the fuck in. Why was the child so good at murder? Why was a child so good at murder? Just imagine the child, like, giggling and being like, I played Hitman Roblox game parodies for, like, 400 hours when I was in 2nd grade. This shit is hard-coded memory. There is absolutely some future FGC champion who's currently playing that Jujutsu Shenanigans mod for Roblox. There's possibly a future Doctor who's doing that shit too. It's gonna be like 2080, and I'm gonna be in a nursing home, and they'll be playing like a, what do you call, like a Skibbity Toilet, the third movie in the back of the TV, and the doctor who's attending to me will be like, "Huh, you know that series came out before I was born." His parents were apparently part of the aforementioned cult, and that kind of fucked him up. Yeah, that would do it. You know what? I have some sympathy for the murderous child now. Having parents in a cult must have been tough on him. Granted, it doesn't explain everything, but like, you know, it explains a lot. Like, literally, I remember one of the times he tried to kill them was, like, he tried to poison some cherry tomatoes that they were eating. And then the yandere girl literally weighed some on her spoon and was like, hey, these have a weird weight to them. I think they must have gone bad. I'll throw these away. Don't eat them. And I'm like, how the fuck did you notice that? Seriously, the child should have won. They should have gotten beaten by a child. Like, even the cult part is like, okay, you know what? It's kind of crazy that they're holding their own pretty well against like a group of like 80 to 40 people. That's pretty incredible, but that's like normal suspension of disbelief incredible, because otherwise there wouldn't be a story. This one is just bullshit. She had literally no reason to suspect that the child was up to something, and yet she still acted like he was a murderer. What the fuck was her problem? Genuinely. But built like different in the same way a Lego set built by a blind person is built different? Yikes. Yeah, no, I definitely remember seeing some of the stuff she was doing and was like, huh, normal people don't do that, I don't think. She's built different, but like instead of Legos, she was built with Roblox. Or not Roblox, Mega Blocks. Built different in a way that is wrong and cannot be succinctly articulated. For some reason, this reminds me of that bit about like how like New Yorkers think that bodega is like a them thing only. Her diary revealed literally everything that was going on with the protagonist at literally every hour of the day. Built as if despite the instruction manual. Built like a dad who absolutely did not want to build like IKEA furniture by like a very unruly dad. Built by like really shitty era AI. Like not even the garbage that they try to feed us nowadays, but like the one before it even looked any good. Where it still had like 50 million fingers and faces and hands. First motherfucker in recorded history to be built against God's image. The poor guy falls in love with her only because she was literally the only person who wasn't trying to brutally murder her in some way. Good God. Well, you know, life comes at you fast. Brother was in a toxic relationship and didn't even know it. It is crazy too, because I think that Future Diary is the one that like popularized the genre of like crazy girl falling in love with you, right? Or if not, it was kind of like the blueprint for a lot of the future developments in that field. Crazy to think about, really. Sometimes I do wonder, like, I know that the people who were making Evangelion and something couldn't have possibly, like, foreseen what Asuka would do to, like, the... the... I was about to say the economy. That's not the word that I meant to use. Like, the biome, I guess. The ecosystem is the word that I'm looking for. Right? Like, they couldn't have known what Asuka would do to the ecosystem, but, like, they could have guessed at some point, right? Yeah, no, the trope existed, but it laid out the blueprints. Yeah, I think that's the best way to describe it. And actually, let me blur these out a little bit. Okay. I think there's only a couple more things left to do in the background here, and then we can move on to a couple in the foreground and a couple of effects for shading. And I feel like we still have not learned our lessons, because my god, I mean, like, look at the kind of things that Shiori Novella is cooking. The idea of it is alive and well. Calling the third impact damage to the ecosystem is like calling the 12 plagues of Egypt a strongly worded letter, but yeah, you're right. I'm not talking about the third impact, brother. I'm talking about, like, the tsundere trope. And to be fair, I do think that they did try a strongly worded letter before they went for the 12 plagues of Egypt. Although it would be really funny if they send an Asuka on, like, as a secret 13th wave. All of your sons and some of your daughters will be attracted to women who hate them. Under the delusion that they are actually liked. Fujiko Mine walked so Asuka could run. Hang on. Is Fujiko technically a tsundere? I thought her whole thing was like getting the bag and not a specific hatred of Lupin, or, you know, whoever the hell is she's currently gunning for that time. Certainly not Jigen. I think it's complicated. Like from everything I've seen, the whatever the hell is going on between Fujiko and Lupin is just like some kind of playful rascal, you know, phantom thief, whatever the fuck thing that they're doing. Not like outright hostility. She does end up robbing him a lot, though. So I don't know. Maybe you can make an argument. Hera was the earliest example of a yandere in media. Yeah. I'm surprised it didn't show up as a plot point in like one of these like modern feminist retellings of Greek history. Or like Greek mythology, I suppose. Like, I think that's what Lore Olympus is meant to be, but like, I don't know. Beats me. I haven't read that webcomic. It is funny to think about. Do you think like the Apple of Discord myth was written because some dude saw like an actual fight between people and was like, "Damn, you know what this would go hard as? An allegory by the featuring the gods." And you know he was right, but you know I don't think he should have done that. Actually, I'm going to do one more thing for the sun. I'm going to add a tiny little star to its forehead. That myth pisses me off for a really dumb reason. Is it because it shares a name with the My Little Pony villain that later became the subject of a renowned internet web song? Or is it for an unrelated, non-Eurobeat Brony related reason? No, actually? Huh. Do tell. There we go. Now nobody will be confused about what the flower pot's about. Okay, grabbing this. And over here. There we go. So the story goes that Eris decided to leave the apple and label it saying to the fairest among the three goddesses, Hera, Aphrodite, and Athena. Okay, that tracks to my knowledge of it so far. They came to Zeus to answer the question on who's the fairest. As you... Well, I wouldn't go to Zeus maybe, but, you know, as you do. You know, I guess if you had no other options, Zeus would be not a bad pick. And Zeus, not wanting to poke that hornet's nest, decided to shunt that task to some random mortal. A good decision, surprisingly enough. I also would not want to be that guy. You know, they say that the biggest part of being a leader is understanding delegation. And I think that was a good example of it. So all three goddesses appear before this random dude, and all three give him bribes to have him name them the fairest. Right, because you would do that. Although I guess you could hardly call it fair at that point, but you know that's kind of what happens. Sometimes you want to make sure a win is a win. And Athena promised that the man would become a great general and master tactician who would be remembered long after he was gone. Not a personally tempting offer, but I could see that being a pretty sweet deal for someone with ambition. You know, back in those days, being a general must have felt like pretty hot shit. Hera promised that he would become an emperor, beloved by his people and bringing great prosperity to his empire. Tough to beat that, although I do think that between being a general and being an emperor, being a general is probably the less stressful job. Aphrodite offered him a pretty woman. Walking down the street, pretty woman. Whoa. What, did she just have one in her back pocket? I mean, in terms of, like, personal liability, he chose Aphrodite and she gave him Helen of Troy. This starting the Trojan War. Well, on the thing is, right, I can't say that was the wrong decision. Because out of all of those, being an emperor and being a general both sound like really hard work. So honestly, if the third goddess is just like offering a no strings attached GF, then yeah, I think I would probably go for that one. Granted, I wouldn't expect it to cause a diplomatic and international incident, but you can't have it all, I guess. Still, what a crazy Tuesday it must have been for that guy, huh? Have some ambition, brother. Listen! Being a general and being an emperor both sound like a pain in the ass. Why would you want that? I am having some ambition. Do you know how hard it is to find a partner that appreciates you and loves you and is also smoking hot? Quite difficult. Quite difficult, I imagine. Especially back in ancient Greece. You didn't have Tinder or nothing. I'm standing by the idea that the guy in question made the right choice. I'm sorry, you cannot make me hate that man. Yeah, but this woman is already married and doesn't want you. Well, we didn't know that going into the deal, though. Did we? Like, did Aphrodite straight up say like, all right, I can give you a really cute girlfriend, but she's already married. Like, did she? You were just given a pretty woman, not a woman that likes you. I have faith in my abilities. I do have that ambition, if nothing else. I'm gonna say it. This guy made the right choice. Aphrodite omitted information because she's a prick like that. Well, I guess you do have to watch out for that shit, huh? You know, that's a kind of play at your own risk sort of deal. I'm sure the other ones would have omitted information as well. Like, being an emperor beloved by your people doesn't mean you won't get assassinated by some rando. And being a general remembered for generations to come, well, we remember some generals who were massive fuck-ups. So... Can I just break up with a woman after? Again, this is not... The woman is not promised to like you or be your GF. This is just a random pretty woman. Apparently delivered to your doorstep, which is kind of weird. Admittedly. I will say it's gonna be tough to bring her on board if she doesn't know where she is or why she got here, but you know, that's a matter of skill. You have to be able to smooth that over. I would be pissed about that, though. Well, yeah, I don't think you would be happy about any of these outcomes, personally speaking. I wouldn't be, certainly. If we play the long game, I explain the situation and we develop friendship afterwards and laugh off the events, and eventually she'll introduce me to a single friend of hers. That's a smart move. Unfortunately, the woman in question is Helen of Troy. So... Wait, and... Preston, quick follow-up question in this mythology. What the Trojan War started after the woman in question was the Helen of Troy, right? But what, like, did she end up marrying the guy that she got teleported to? Or was it immediately frame one, like, I have been kidnapped and now we are going to cause a diplomatic incident here? No, she did not marry the guy. That really is funny. It was a diplomatic incident frame one. Good for him, I guess. Well, I guess that should sound Ryan's long con idea, but you know, it was worth trying. I would simply prevent the diplomatic incident. I like that gusto. I like that gumption. It'll carry you far. They do say that if you're planning to do something, having the courage to do it is more important than having a plan. Again, Atlas is a better man than me. I would have dropped the sky at some point. I feel like I would not drop the sky on purpose, but I would absolutely forget that I was holding it up at one point and just drop it then. Like, I'd be like, ah, shit, my foot itches. And I would lean over and be like, wait, no, no! I don't know. I do think that you could probably make a story about, like, Atlas being being like, you know, this kind of sucks, but I will do it anyway. Drop just enough to smoosh Mount Olympus a little bit. It is supposed to be like a pretty tall fucking mountain in Mount Olympus, so I don't think there would be an issue if you just like lean down a little bit to smush it. You know, tectonically speaking. What if Atlas shrugged? What if the Joker could beatbox? What if Seuss could beatbox? I think Seuss would be pretty bad at beatboxing, to be honest. Well, no, hang on. Let's analyze this in detail to some extent, right? So, average Greek diet, actually pretty good at probably like the ability to have clarity of the throat, because I think there's like a certain diet you're supposed to avoid if you use your voice to sing or to in this case beatbox, right? I do imagine that it carries some degree of similarity, the benefits and disadvantages of consuming those products. And from what I recall, it's like milk and eggs are the main thing. We all know Seuss is a throat goat. You know what? Fuck it, I'll give it to him. Yeah, Seuss is the best Greek god at beatboxing. Why not? I like this tone a little bit better. But yeah, no. Atlas Shrugged for a book that I haven't read seems to rightfully have a lot of criticism and derision. Wait, what the? Ah, crap. Alright, this is gonna make things a little bit more complicated. So, interesting thing, I seem to have somehow merged the line art layer and the flats layer. Although, hang on, maybe we can salvage this. Hang on, actually, wait, yeah, this should be pretty easy to... No, wait, hang on. Okay, no, I know how to salvage this, though. So here's what we do. We're going to copy and paste the actual layer. We are going to use edit, convert, or edit tonal correction, binarization. There we go. Convert brightness to opacity. And there you go. Now it's a little bit sharp. You know, we have a little bit less aliasing, but... Or we have a little more aliasing, rather, but it should work for our purposes. What if there's like a freaky Apple Discord for the throat goatiest of them all in the land? I'm very biased when I say this because I hate Atlas Shrugged, but... God, I remember there was like a theater production of like a scene from one of the Ayn Rand plays, and it was just not very good. Like, how are you going to be a misogynist and a writer as a woman? Like, love yourself. But you know, I kind of knew that Atlas Shrugged was on some bullshit when I read like a plot summary of the book, and it was like, oh yeah, and then John Galt with his superior mighty brain actually was being tortured by the evil socialist scientists, and the machine that they were using to torture him broke, and they were trying to get it to operate, but then John Galt told him how to fix the machine, and then they've lost their fucking minds, because apparently they realized they couldn't even operate the machine to torture him without his great big brain. I'm like, man, this is some bullshit. They are glazing the fuck out of this guy for no reason. Just for a second, Paps was rocking the JJK look. God, yeah. Never wear baggy white pants and a black t-shirt to a fight. You will be killed. Evil governments are putting laws and regulations on poor businesses to make all people equal. So all the CEOs are going to disappear to show how necessary they are for society. Like, sounds like a parody, but it's completely serious. It's so bad. Especially, like, given the current political climate, which I can't speak much on out of kind of, like, some degree of fear of being censored, but... You know, like, that has clearly been shown the case that, like, one CEO goes missing. It's not really that big of a deal. In fact, we would welcome additional opportunities. For there to be fewer CEOs. Also, I need to... Hang on. Here's what I'm gonna do, actually. Control... Copy, then edit, tonal correction, brightness and contrast, decrease the brightness, but increase the contrast just a tiny bit. No, actually, I'm gonna stick to what I was doing earlier. I might decrease the contrast later, and I'm also going to remove this this line here. The ending of the book also sounds like the beginning of BioShock's Rapture. Yeah, which I understand is not a coincidence. Based off of, like, the subtext in BioShock, I do understand that BioShock was very much written as a critique of, like, this very much free market society that is glazed in Ayn Rand books. To the point where they call the main villain Andrew Ryan. And it's like, well, make your own conclusions about what that means. It has these oppressed rich people are going to found their own city based on their beliefs. That's almost literally a Cruelty Squad level. The one where they're on, like, a boat. God. I hope Ayn Rand is looking up at us and weeping. Yeah. There is... Did she die? I thought for some reason she was still alive. Needs to be more saturated, I think. She died in 1982? Sheesh. She's been gone for quite some time then. Okay, then over here. The ribbon is so well rendered compared to the rest of this that it's a little distracting. That's as you sent me. The book depicts a dystopian United States in which heavy industry companies suffered under increasingly burdensome laws and regulation. Railroad executive Dagny Taggart and her lover, steel magnate Hank Reardon, struggle against looters who want to exploit their productivity. They discover that a mysterious figure called John Galt is persuading other business leaders to abandon their companies and disappear as a strike of productive individuals against the looters. The novel ends with the strikers planning to build a new capital society based on Galt's philosophy. You are out of your fucking mind. The crazy part is that, like, this happening would be kind of an ideal scenario. All the CEOs fuck off and build their own country and leave the rest of us alone for a while. Especially now that all CEOs, that a lot of different CEOs are trying to be, like, personalities, you know? Well, I'm specifically talking about Elon Musk. Elon Musk thinks he thinks he's a personality. He's really not, but I don't know. Sometimes you hear about these people's exploits. You hear about like what they're up to in their regional neighborhoods, and you're like, man, I do wish kind of they would fuck off forever. And you know, they will for like an interim period of like 2 or 3 years before they realize, hey, we kind of left behind all the means of production with the people who actually made our stuff. We probably need to go back to normal society. It's a little bit hard to tell what's happening here, so I'm going to add a couple of black lines. I know Beelzebub is waiting on that island, just waiting for more civilized folk. God. Okay, and then over here. Okay. Then I think the only couple things left is maybe some shading on Rice Beast we can do while we shade my own face. And then some adjustments to the colors to make it look a little bit warmer. Okay, then over here. Rice Beast in its handsome little hat. Okay, then over here. I don't like the way it looks at me. It's literally looking at you in the most peaceful way possible. Put it in the spin cycle. Very well, as you wish. Brum 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 brum. Ba-ping. All right, there we go. Nice and dry. Honestly, sometimes I do accidentally leave Rice Beast in with my laundry when I get it in. Sometimes it just hangs out on my dirty clothes before I put them into the washing machine. And it's not until like I am cleaning out the lint dryer when I realize, oh shit, Rice Beast is in here. It seems very not bothered by by the spin cycle though. I think it's sneaking in there on purpose just to get clean every once in a while. It doesn't seem to like showering at any rate, but it's like a cat or something, I don't know. It seems to keep itself clean pretty well most of the time. Also, before I forget, I did want to spam you with the game theory thumbnails on Discord, but going through it at some point, but go scrolling through it at some point. This is slop. I don't think I'm gonna subject myself to that. I've got like other shit to do with my time. I'm glad you seem to have gotten some mild radiation poisoning from it, though. I'd rather spend my time on doing cooler things, like googling anime man katana no AI on Google Images. Or actually the best way to approach it, I think, would be to look up like man with katana anime, and then just set the outcomes to be like before 2018. Or if you really want to be ambitious, set it to be like before the 2010s. Instead of saying I'm wasting time. I'm not saying you're wasting time, I'm just saying that's not how I would spend it. You're free to live your life as you like without any regard for my input. Ultimately, that is the only right we have as humans. Is to choose to some extent how to spend our time. Alright, I'm going to... Wait, have I been drawing... Fuck, I've been drawing the same layer again. God damn it! Oh well, I guess it can't be helped. Let me just merge these guys together. Maybe lower the contrast a little bit. And then next up, we're going to need a thing from my resources folder in my art folder. Here it is. What about cold press paper? Yeah, this looks good. Okay, then the next thing to do is to actually not use these and then merge visible to new layer. Or actually, no, wait, hang on. Is it until around here? Okay, we would merge these together. And then we would use tonal correction, gradient map, and we would, or not make gradient map actually, maybe picture color, or like color matching. So like one with like a nice warm tone like this one. Yeah, okay. And then we are going to use the gradient erase outward from, let's say, the quote-unquote tree. What the? Let's try that again. Yeah, okay. And then we can also use the normal one just for the top here. Just a tiny bit. And then same thing for the one in here. Edit, tonal correction, color match. What color did we have this on? Multiply. Multiply and then lower this. I'll send you some of my favorites though. I'm not going to watch a single one because I have to draw the line at some point. That sounds fun. Sure, do that. Okay. Let's see. Actually, recently I did download a few new fonts. Let me go ahead and check that out. Extract all. Yeah, there was this one bundle from itch.io that had a lot of different fonts in it. So I took the opportunity to grab that. Let's see. Harrowing, horror, picture-like. Picture-like, huh? Ooh, wait, actually, no, I did forget to do something. Hang on. I forgot a very important step. Hang on. Select color gamut, this one here, and this one here. I forgot to add the patterns on the sweater. Let's see. Clothing. There should be one with, like, reindeer. Is this one? It's hard to say. Hang on. No, it's definitely a slightly different looking one. More reindeer-like. We can give this one to Tool, though. Let's find the reindeer-themed one first, though. Dang it, did I lose it? No, here it is. Oh, thank goodness. That's a little too big. We can stand to make it a tiny bit smaller. Okay, and then just carefully excising this area. And then adding it here. Okay, now let's do the pattern on tools sweater. Let's see, for tool, a better pattern would probably be one like this one. Maybe there's a couple more we can do. Like this one's pretty good as well. Whoops. No, hang on, that's not gonna work. And then just a tiny bit here with a darker color palette. Okay, and actually maybe one more here. Save that. Okay, everything still seems to be working normally. I think we're ready to slap a font on this sucker. Alright, hang on. Let me take a look at some of these that Tristan sent over too. You're missing the point of dress to impress. Shadow is actually a genie. Minecraft mobs were created to save us. What the heck is slurp juice? You are programmed to click on this video. Some real stinkers in here. These would go hard as fuck if you probably don't think about very much stuff. Hang on, let me see if I can do something. Fontviewer.exe, launch. Okay, so let's take I'm gonna quickly open and close a couple of these just to sort through them. Simple Stitch. What's this one like? This one's kind of cute, but it's not Christmas-like. Klein Bottle. Ooh, this one's really cool. Tinsel Christmas. Catastrophe. CreeperJesus.jpg. Real stinkers. No kidding. Ooh, this one might be fun. Christmas Sweater Stitch. Okay, I'm gonna keep Christmas Fairy Lights solid. Or actually, I'm gonna keep Christmas Fairy Lights, not solid, just in case. Okay, which other ones we got? What about vintage fonts? What's this one? Bluffolk. Meh. Very utilitarian, though. I can appreciate that. This one's called Frostbite Boss Fight. This one, that's really cool. I love that name too. Devon Jar is the name of this one. The Jester. Yo, this one's sick too. None of these are really what I am looking for in terms of the font style, though. This one might be good. Actually, I should write these down because it doesn't record that. The magical world of font is so majestic and wide. Real. Hang on. Okay. What's this one? 10-pin. Is this going to be a bowling themed one? Doesn't quite seem like it. Spine biting is such a cool name. Ominous. Weirdly enough, not that ominous. In fact, I might keep this one. Script fonts are usually the go-to for holiday cards. You're right. I should look for something like that. But they don't have that as a category. They have handwriting. Actually, handwriting is probably the closest one. Meh. What about this one? Candy beans. Meh. This is kind of hard to read. Meh. I'm Wonderland Italic. Okie dokie, gotta go now. Have a good rest of the stream. Thanks, Preston. Thanks for stopping by. Lovely talking to you. Jan Hand. These are all kind of... Yeah, these are literally handwritten fonts. Whoa, look at this one. That's pretty hard to read, though. This one's called Hamburg Mess. No More Justice? This one looks so hardcore. Murphy's Folly is the name of this one. This one might actually be good. Lord Juicide Reigns. It's a crazy name for a font. I do have to say your sweater fit looks so pleasant. I really should rock the turtleneck more often, honestly. Ooh, this one looks cool. These are all a little bit too aggro, though. What about cartoonish fonts? None of these really jump out at me so far. This one's nice and big, though. Nosark is the name of this one. This one's called Pocket Monk. Wait. No! Are we allowed to do this? No, hang on. I know this one. Pocket Monk? Okay, I see. I was expecting for sure some kind of tonsure type shit, but no, this is copyright infringement, I'm pretty sure. Well, I'm not about to snitch. I can't believe it's Zelda font, for real. Space Obsessed is the name of this one. Whippy Snapped. Zany Races. ZZ. Wascott. Skull and Void sounds like a bully gloomy kid duo. Maybe a couple of serif fonts is what we need. The Jamboree. Militant. Gorgeous. Baxter Slab. All these fonts have such cool-ass names. Genuinely. Like, this one's called Cthulhu's Calling. All these could be names of like microbrewery beers. Baxter Slab, man. Hang on, there's one called Square. What's this one about? Oh god, is it really all just incredibly square fonts? That's nuts. This one's called Hell Underwater. Very interesting way of doing cues. This one's called Hipster Hand Grenade. Oh, whew. That's a lot to look at. This one's called Master Blast. Again, huge fan of these names. This one's taking a while to load for some reason. Wait. Oh my god, it's got hatching! That's why it's taking forever to load. Look at that. Hang on, can we zoom in? Is it possible to zoom in on that? Hang on. It's not just hatching. They have tiny words inside of the words. Why would you do that? Holy shit. This one's called Omega Ruby. What's this one? Sharp. Well, I can't say it's not exactly as advertised. Smack latest down. Shit, this one would have been useful when we were making Scott's, Hawk Sterling. I almost called her Scott Sterling, like that one YouTube skit from the 2010s. Scott Sterling! The man, the myth, the Swiggity. That's the name of this one, by the way, the Swiggity. Winter Spice Cake. Meh. Viaduct. I'm a fan of the cues being two circles. That feels very inventive. This one's called The End of Days. There's a bunch of this called Zadig. Are all these just... Hang on. I don't understand what the theme of these is. Maybe it's all made by the same person called Zadig. Severed Jubilee. Hey. Let's look for more vintage ones. What about... What's this one? Hager 9. Cursive Vertex. This one might be it, actually. Hang on. Also, I get the name, by the way. Vertex, like it's like corners, because all of these are sharp corners, and it's makes cursive. This one's called Axe Wielder. This one's called Magenta Flow. Which is what I imagine what Reina's first album is gonna be when she eventually drops. What's this one? Order in Chaos. Interesting on some of these, especially for the numbers. This one's called Romantic Chemicals. What else we got? Oh wait, maybe we can use a Western type font, since that one is those ones usually have some kind of cursive to them. All these are very carnival-like. Flight of the Ocean is the name of this one. This one, I'm in love with the name of this one. This one's called I Shot the Seraph. That's charming. You begin typing out your winter well wishes, and a cowboy hat PNG begins to descend from the top of the screen onto your head. I have to finish writing out the well wishes before the PNG hits my head, or else I'm in for a world of trouble. I'm kind of a fan of this one, honestly, as well. This one's called Scouser Steed. It's a little bit too angular, though. Yeah, no, these are not going to work. I don't know. Could we use a sans one? I don't think that would work. Yeah, all these all kind of just look the same. Maybe I've been looking at words for too long. Like, obviously, these are not the same picture, the same ones. There's also some pixel fonts. Yo, this one I'm a fan of. This one's called Twizzled. Ugh. Halogen gas lights. Here not found. If you descend into font-based madness for long enough, you become a Leximancer. That seems like a hard life, if I'm being honest. Like, I feel like recognizing the fonts that you see in your day-to-day life, unless, like, they're one of the really, you know, egregious fonts like Comic Sans, that's gotta be its own kind of tough existence. This one's called Oh Beehive. Again, very charming names. Yeah, I think we're running out of options here. I think it's time to lock into one of these. All right, let's get it done. Okay, let's try that Xmas one that we got first. QRSTUVWX. Y, huh? Hang on. Oh shoot, maybe it hasn't registered it yet. Let me close and reopen. Let's see. Is it in there? It's hard to tell. Oh yeah, there it is. And then the black stroke. It's just a little tough to see against the background. Alright, let's try our second option. And you can make it a little bit more squat to make it look friendlier. Okay, center that. That's a really weird way to spell Z, I'm not gonna lie. Alright, let me see. Duplicate layer. From our household to you. And I think in this one we can use the Xmas. Then plonk this one right down here. Reduce the stroke a little bit. I kind of like the glowing effect on it. Hang on. Filter, blur, Gaussian blur. Just a tiny bit on the background of it, so it's a little bit easier to read. Okay, then fill in this part. Filter, blur, Gaussian blur. Or actually, maybe we need the opposite for this one. Filter, blur, Gaussian blur. Can we center these two as well, please? There we go. Here we go. I have an idea for how to finish this off strong. I'm gonna need a couple of things, though. Let me grab first Tools, character sheet, then my own character sheet. And then we can use the Milli pen, I think. Then we can use Tools blue dome color to make their signature. Come to think of it, I don't think I've ever shown off Ricebeast's own kind of logo, but it does have one. It looks a little bit like that. The Beast's branding. And then for the sun, I guess we can use kind of like a reddish color or like more orangish color. That should do it. Oh, actually, there is one more thing that I wanted to try and do. Right here, I wanted to try and do like a white and red stripe effect. And then maybe to offset how messy that looks, we could use a... Yeah, something like this. Putting that on the Scooby-Doo collar. Yeah. I really should get Ricebeast a proper collar one of these days. We only really have a harness for it. Okay, that should do it for today, actually. I'm pretty satisfied with this. I do wish... Hang on, maybe I can... What if I just turned all of these like a color, a pleasant red color? Having the black symbols, I think, is better. Or maybe just... The problem is that I had... Wait, actually I have a better idea. Second, slightly better idea. And maybe I can use a marker as well. Nope. Hmm. Maybe a white border would have been the way to go. Yeah, I'm satisfied with that. Alright, that should do it for today. Is anybody else streaming right now? Oh, V's streaming. Oh, she's looking through some Christmas stuff. All right, let's go right over to her. All right. In the meantime, take it easy. I will be back on Friday, possibly with another art stream. More likely with another Bloodstained stream. I really want to get back into the game. All right, take it easy. See you later, and Merry Christmas.